What's up, and welcome back to another episode of InSights, the podcast built to help you with your recruitment and digital marketing. I'm joined by Steve Gipson. Steve, how are we feeling, buddy?
Brad, how are you?
I'm great. How was your holiday break?
It was good. I got to take a little time with the families. We built a bunk bed till 4 a.m. on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So we had the kids sleep out by the Christmas tree, and then we tore the room apart, rearranged things, built it all. Went to bed about 4. So it was a long Christmas Eve. But
did they know that activity was happening, or was that a Santa surprise?
They didn't know. Now, I don't do Santa. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
I want the credit. It's completely selfish.
Okay.
I want complete credit. I want to know that Dad stayed up to 4 a.m.
Sure.
I want that guy coming in here and wrecking my house. Yes, but they didn't know. It was a surprise. They had no idea. Yeah. My daughter claimed she heard us moving things around, which she probably did, because there was, anytime I build anything, it's just a loud event. But no, it was good. It was a fun surprise.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Good holiday season over here. Bryce is going to be 3 soon, so just a fun age for him. Blair doesn't really know what's going on yet. But she was here. She presumably had fun too, but good time over here. Took like 2 weeks off, which I love to do near the end of the year. Yeah. I think it's good to just recharge and come back strong and come back with some new ideas for the year. It's just fun to kind of get out of that mindset for a little bit and then come back and see what's kind of new and exciting. So yeah, good over here too. Hey man, what do you say? You want to get to it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Over the break, I went sort of long form on an article on LinkedIn, and I painted this parallel between New Year's resolutions and marketing. And my claim was that 91% of marketing will fail in 2025. Now, I'm not saying 91% of Haley Marketing's marketing or recruiters' websites marketing is going to fail, but what I think is going to happen and what I have seen happen is that painting the picture, 91% of New Year's resolutions fail. It's statistically driven. What happens is we give up. We lose track. We for one reason or another, and I can go into why New Year's resolutions fail if you want me to. They fail. Most fail by the second Friday of the year. It's called Quitting Friday. Most people last about 2 weeks, and that's it. They say, I don't want to do this anymore. I think marketing, business is the same. We have these hopes and wishes, and then come the second week of the year, we just revert back to what's always worked, and we say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. Thoughts on that? How's that sit for you?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. We're humans, right? So anything that we try to start that we don't have a plan in place and we can't consistently attack, but we just try to do it on a whim. Because I feel like resolutions pretty much are a whim in a lot of ways, right? You'll go out, you go and try to buy all the equipment, you join a gym, but none of it's really that thought out. It's just, I'm going to do it. At least that's the case it's been for me. And then typically, like you said, they'll fall off. And so same thing from a marketing perspective, you'll go and a company will go and they'll say, you know what, we're going to start marketing. We're going to start writing emails. We're going to start sending emails. We're going to start creating LinkedIn content. We're going to start doing this, doing that. It's never really thought out completely. It's kind of just, we're going to start doing this. And then it fails because there's no longevity to that plan. There's nothing in place that's going to say, okay, what does success look like? Or what should I expect in 2 weeks? Because I think that's a lot of it too, is that what we put in ourselves as expectations. So like if you're going to the gym to work out and in 2 weeks, you're still just as sore as you were in day one and you don't see any results in the mirror. And if you were expecting to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger by the second week, then all of a sudden you're done and you're not going to continue on. Yeah. Same thing with marketing. If I'm driving in, I'm starting to do a lot of initiatives. I'm being very consistent for those 2 weeks and I don't see a lead come in. All of a sudden, it didn't do what I wanted it to. So I'm done. So I think the expectations are misaligned with things like year resolutions. And even when we start marketing.
I think you're spot on. I think it comes down to having a goal, having a vision, making it quantifiable. We've talked about SMART goals on this show a billion times. And I think what happens is we typically set a New Year's resolution of, well, I want to be healthier, or I want to be more in tune with my spirituality, or I want to have my finances in order, but we don't know what that actually means. We don't say by December 31st, I want to bench press X or I want to lose X weight. And to do that, then by March 1st, I need to be here and sort of benchmark it along the way. We sort of have this, I'm going to wake up on January 1st and all of a sudden I'm going to be a new person. And then maybe we have a list of 20 things we want to do that all contradict themselves.
Right.
I want to spend more time with friends, but I want to lose 20 pounds. Well, now spending more time with friends means I'm going out for more wings and beer, and I'm contradicting the fact that I also want to be in the gym.
Right.
So then things start to fall off, and that's okay. But the biggest thing that I got to with this article and with this sort of thought that I was having is, well, then what can we do about it, right? We need to have a goal. We need to have some sort of vision. Otherwise, marketing is going to just be another resolution. It's going to be something that we sort of say we're going to set out to achieve, but we're never going to know, one, if we hit the goal, or two, if we stayed the course throughout the year.
Right. Yeah. I think that's the key there, is just, how can I give myself indicators and little wins along the way? Right.
Love that. So
I've been, I'm never going to be the strongest guy. I'm never going to be the fastest guy. I'm never going to be the best salesperson. I've come to those realizations, as hard as that is to believe, Brad. I know you're sitting there in awe, like, well, Steve, and I'm bursting your bubble. And I know you've looked up to me for years, not just
I have for quite some time.
A literal height, but also just metaphorically as well.
Yeah.
But I'm consistent. I will say I can just plod along at times. There's things I can do that if I could just stay the course, I will be able to be successful in that at some point. So I've been going to the gym 3 days a week, pretty much for 10 years now. I can't outbench all the guys there, but I'm happy with where I'm at. And to take that from a marketing perspective, to know that if you can just be consistent, have those indicators of success, and know when you're going to do it and how you're going to do it, how many times a week, the frequency, the types of content you're going to create, the way that you're going to have that voice out there, what the image you want to portray, that brand you're wanting to put out, what you're looking to accomplish. And you just set a course over the next, I'm just going to do this. And I don't even like putting really timelines on it. I'm just going to do this. This is what I'm going to do now. This is a change. And
this
then all
is
of a
who
sudden,
I am now.
Right. This is who I am. This is what we do. And then all of a sudden now you just have success. When you look up 5 years from now, you're like, oh yeah, that marketing did work. Oh yeah, that gym routine did work. So consistency.
You're preaching to the choir there. And in the article, I actually said that we need to build habits, not hype. And I think one of the struggles, what we do is the phrase itself, I'm going to go whip myself into shape, right? I'm going to go to the gym in January. I'm going to whip myself into shape. What does that even mean? You're going to run on a treadmill till you pass out. You're going to hurt yourself. You're not going to help anything. But we know that it's the consistency that builds long-term success in business, in health, in finances, in any area of your life. Right? You can even right now I'm thinking about being a dad because I'm home with my daughter now, and it's like, well, I could be a great dad for one day, but that doesn't mean anything. It's the consistency over time that's going to make me long-term her want to be in my life forever. Right? It doesn't matter that we went to the playground once, right? So it's those habits, not hype. And I think when it comes to marketing, in a lot of ways, businesses wake up, we have these, Q4 sit downs, we figure out our goals and our vision for the upcoming year, and then we hit the ground running and we all sprint. And it's okay, we're all going to do this. And we have this hype and there's this buzz. But if instead we focused on the small, repeatable habits, to your point, going to the gym 3 days a week, that is something that we can build on. And that's something that we can absolutely have a resolution for and achieve in 2025. That makes it much more achievable.
Yeah, it's sustainable, right? So if you're going to go to the gym 7 days a week, you're going to burn out. If you're going to go on a crash diet, you're going to burn out. The same thing with marketing. If you start creating content every single day, you're going to burn out. And it's just going to yield no results eventually. And I like your point of the dad more than a dad for a day. Because the concept of, if you are so let's just use the gym too as well. So once you hit that ideal physique, right? What do? Right? You have to maintain that. It doesn't just stay there. So is there just this one amazing day where you look in the mirror, like, I got it. I finally got it. No, it never comes. It will never, ever be there in your mind.
Yeah.
And so the same thing from marketing perspective. What magic day are we working for when we say, we have a successful marketing efforts. We have a successful marketing plan that we've been implementing. There's not necessarily that day. So if we can just find the little wins, find the little habits that then change everything, and just do that over and over and over again, you don't worry about whether or not I've obtained this certain status. You just worry about now we're seeing success.
You bring up an interesting thought too of reaching the summit and then finding a new mountain to climb. And that's something that I completely struggle with. And I think, and I actually alluded to this in the article as well, we need to celebrate the wins along the way, right? If we are challenging our entire team to reach a new business goal in 2025, we need to celebrate those wins along the way, or people are going to get frustrated. They're going to get worn out. They're going to get overworked, whatever it is. But in the same respect, yes, like this is what we're working for. When we get there, it doesn't mean that we've just reached the end of the game. It means the goal changes. We now have a new destination. We'll celebrate for a while, and then it's on to the next one. Right? It's not thinking, okay, I finally got to in your mind, or your comment, the dream physique, or the ideal weight. Well, okay, we're not just going to put it all back on. We're not just going to now all of a sudden sit on the couch for weeks. This is who we are. Right. And because of the repeatable habits, because we celebrated the wins along the way, because we stayed accountable and we stayed actionable, it's just who we become. And I think if we can sort of flip that mentality from a marketing standpoint, and we could say, okay, this isn't our New Year's resolution. This is just who we are as an organization. We fundamentally believe in marketing because marketing will help us achieve X goal. That's how we make sure with certainty that it's not just a 91% fail rate. We join the 9% success rate.
So here's the problem though, right? With when we talk about marketing in our industry, and just marketing as a whole, but specifically in our industry, they don't believe it.
Sure.
So why would they continue on with it? So as a whole, this is obviously a very sweeping statement, but when we look at a lot of small to medium-sized marketing staffing firms, do they really believe marketing works?
Statistically, I think it's a battle. No.
Yeah. And it's interesting.
But I would challenge that, and I would say that that's more on me as a consultant than it is on the staffing owner who doesn't believe me.
Maybe.
And the challenge for that, though, Steve, is, and I think you articulated this well, how long you've gone to the gym 3 days a week for 10 years. What day did you finally look in the mirror and say this is working?
When I benched 315.
Can you hit 315?
Not anymore.
Oh, that a boy though.
I hit that summit and then went way back down.
Dude, I got to 215. I hit it once, and then I started running aggressively, and everything sort of gone the other way, which is fine, right? I feel fantastic, but goals change, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean that I missed my New Year's resolution. It just means that my vision changed. But I think you're on the right path of, well, people don't believe the marketing is working. I think that then comes down to us as marketers or us as consultants to paint the better picture, to say we're doing X, it is leading to Y. And that's a hard connection to make for a lot of people. And that's at Haley, that's at recruiters' websites, that's at ABC marketing firm.
Sure.
You're doing an X activity. Over time, your business grows, and you need to paint the picture and connect the dots.
Yeah, there has to be the trust though, too. In trusting the process. So, the formula is there. Yeah. The tools are there, and the know-how is there, and we can implement it all in the right way. But then, if we're not given the opportunity to be able to enact on those things or prove those methods, then no matter how great of consultants we are, how wonderful of methods we've proven over, for Haley's perspective, the last 27 years, for our perspective, we're going on our 13th year. There's nothing that we can do. And I get it. There's faith that has, go ahead.
Yeah. Is there not though, and I'm catching a different wave there, is there not faith in the fact that marketing works for other industries? Why wouldn't it work for ours? Why haven't we gotten to that point? Right? So you see the guy in the gym who has the dream physique, right? Who has the abs, who can bench 315, who in your mind is sort of where you want to get to. Okay. Right. He knows what it took to get there.
Right.
So why then are we not, if we're relating and we're painting the picture with marketing, why are we not saying, yes, there's a reason that Coca-Cola is a trillion-dollar company. There's a reason Apple is a trillion-dollar company. It's not because they stumbled upon it. No, Steve Jobs was a marketing wizard.
Right.
We have to get to that point too.
So I can give you a little insight on this. It's not great insight, but it's just what I hear.
It's a show is called InSights, Steve. The show is called InSights.
It doesn't mean it means a little bit of insight. So yes, to your point, exactly. And even I love to use the point that, okay, Coca-Cola is a trillion-dollar company, and yet they still put billboards up, and yet they still run social ads, and yet they still run commercials, and all those different companies and that we can name and look at, they all still do those table stakes like you talk about, and those things that are there. And why? Because it works, and because it's needed to keep us familiar with their brand. Recruiting firms and staffing firms. Here is the answer that I hear a lot. So, because I'm on the phone with them all the time. And maybe those listening to this still don't think this is the case, and I'm not trying to put you as recruiting and staffing firms into a box, but this is what I hear. So our industry is different. That's the answer, Brad. Our industry is different, and people aren't consuming or looking for our services in the same way that they're looking for Coca-Cola or that they're looking for said product or said service. That's the answer I get. What are your thoughts on that? What's your answer to that?
Typically this is a G-rated show, so I'm going to refrain from what I was going to say. I would say because they're not using your same services the same way. I'm sorry, back up. Because you are different. Yes, you're not Coca-Cola. Someone is not using your product or service every single day, right? Let's say a heavy Coca-Cola user is probably having 2 cans a day. Yeah. Yes, they're not using staffing services twice a day. You're right. But if they're going to use your service once every 5 to 6 years, you better freaking hope they remember who you are 6 years from now. And they're not going to, if you're not using marketing, they're going to go somewhere else, or they're going to go to Indeed and they're going to do their own job search. They're going to forget about you.
But Brad, no, let me interrupt you. I'm an industry expert. I'm the best. I know everyone in my industry knows me. Okay.
Yeah.
So why do I need to market?
This is gonna go the wrong way.
maybe we need to do this just to be able to get it out every once in a while.
Sir, I am strategically amped up on Cafe Americano from Starbucks. Now is not the time. Because Steven, in my heart, yes, you might be the industry expert, but I also fundamentally believe in my heart that you are one social post away from being completely forgotten about.
100%.
I completely in the core of me believe that we are all just fading away into nothing. We're one day closer to dying, and I'm sorry to say it, but we are going to be replaced every single day by other people who are more present, who are more active, who are more visible. It's just the way the world works.
And not even that. You're one resignation away from your client, from them not knowing who you are ever again.
Correct.
Because that one person...
Yes. Yes. So then we need to go deeper with our clients. We need to go wider with our clients. We need to make sure that everybody at that organization knows who we are. And the only way to systematically do that is to either clone you so you can have more calls with that company. And I haven't figured that one out yet. Or we can strategically deploy marketing to do that. Yeah.
If all we did was, I'm going to interrupt you because if all we did, because I have a thought, if all we did, and it's rare, if all we did was market to our clients alone, if that's our only effort that we put in, where we did a full marketing campaigns to our specific clients, just to do what you said and build up that awareness and depth within those organizations and who we serve, that alone would be worth its weight in gold.
Yes,
because of the amount of relationships, the amount of duplicity of how you are in front of those right people at the right time. No matter who leaves, you're still that guy, you're still that girl, you're still that firm, and we're not even doing that. From that perspective. Sorry, I didn't. Go ahead.
You can cut me off anytime. If you catch a thought, and a rare thought, run with it, my friend. It's interesting. I wanted to think about marketing as a whole, and I think you're right, Steve. I think the industry does struggle with seeing the quantifiable value in marketing. Right? I've been doing this now for 11 years. I know you're longer than me in that space. It hasn't changed, and I don't think it's going to change. I don't think if we had a big goal for 2025 or a big vision or prediction for 2025, it's not that the staffing industry is going to wake up and now all of a sudden marketing is going to be on the forefront. we still need to consistently educate. That's why shows like this fundamentally exist. And that's why I put out so much content, because I want to continue to educate people on why they need to be doing this.
Right.
But, you know, to bring this home so we can get to one more segment on today's show, I, in my heart, believe 91% of marketing across the world will fail this year if we treat it like a New Year's resolution. We need to have a plan. We need to have a goal. We need to have a vision, and we need to stick to it. We need to have accountability partners. We need to have everything in place to treat our marketing and our businesses just like a New Year's resolution. If it were a diet or getting in shape, whatever it might be. Otherwise, yes, it is absolutely going to fail.
Yeah. And I think putting your blinders on too when you're doing this, right? So because when you get the resolution aspect to it, if you're going and you're comparing yourself to other people and to what they're doing and what they look like and the success they're having, you could be cutting yourself short because you're always comparing yourself to them versus being confident in your own success and the things that you're actually accomplishing yourself. And so if we can stop comparing our marketing efforts or the content we're producing, the things that we're putting out there to others, and trust in our strategy and the things that we put in place and the goals that we've set and the successes that we're seeing over time, it's going to be much more successful versus, oh, this guy just put a post about how he had 10 leads come in from this. And now I'm going to engage this lead generation guy. Or now I'm going to engage this social person because you're seeing all this content other places and it's deviating you from what you've set in course to be successful. And so if we can put blinders out, only judge ourselves by ourselves and our methods and our strategy, you will see success in that versus trying to catch everyone else's success.
Yeah, so that's going to push us really well to the next topic that I want to talk about on today's show. I was listening to another podcast and the host had said that we're not in an era of information overload. We're in an era of opinion overload. Yeah. And I think you touched on that with your last comment there, which is a great segue into this segment. I think it's a perfect time for someone to have a voice on social media, even though we are being inundated with opinions left and right. And the reason for that, Steve, as I don't think a lot of the opinions are that good. When we look at social media, it's usually the people that are either, and this is outside of staffing, this is just influencers or talking heads, as I might refer to them, right? A lot of the opinions aren't that good, right? And they're catching waves, and sure, people pick up a little bit of momentum because of it. But now I truly believe is the perfect time for anybody in staffing and recruiting to have a personal voice as it relates to content. Your last comment about, well, I'm a subject matter expert and everyone knows who I am. Great. Make them remember you. Continue to talk about it. Continue to be present on social. Have a voice. Have an opinion. It's interesting, though. As I was listening to the show, it's Modern Wisdom. I talk about it on here all the time. The fact that we're not in an information overload, we're in opinion overload. What's that mean to you? You agree?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's even gone further that we're not even really in an opinion overload. We're in an AI opinion overload. It's not even people's own opinions anymore. That
terrifies me.
Right. It's a thought that they have that they can't flesh out. And so it's something that we go to AI and then it creates that opinion for us. And then all of a sudden that becomes our thought and our stance, even though it's not even my original thought. And then that's what's being put out by copious amounts of people at these fake AI opinions. And it's all for the sake of likes. It's not really because I'll catch myself doing this too, put out some post about, something like hiring managers should hire, not fire, to get likes. You know what I mean? It's like that's the kind of crap that you see all the time. and you put it in like bold letters and like people are like, yeah, and you get 1,000 likes because people really like it. Because you get it. Yeah. Hire people. No one should be fired. And that's the kind of stuff.
From The Office.
What?
Good leaders don't fire people, Ryan. They hire and inspire people.
Right. There you go. Exactly.
I'm not going to fire you. I'm going to put you in the annex with Kelly for 3 months.
Right. Make you miserable. So I think that's what we're getting into, more of that. Yes. I think it's opinions. I think social media has always been opinion based. There's very little fact and truth out there, but to me, it's the dilution of our own even original thoughts. And I know that could probably be argued that there's never been original thought, but in the sense of we're actually letting the robots, the machines, and I'm all for AI, but take it completely and create that thought for us.
I don't know that I have had a formal thought on AI yet. But I am absolutely clinging to authentic content, and I and myself am doubling down on authentic content this year. It's something that not even this year. Honestly, I haven't set any new goals for this year. If I just stay the course of what I was doing last year, I think I'm going to be in a great spot. I put a lot of work into who I wanted to be last year, and if I just continue on that course, I think I'll be all right. But anyway, I want to put a stamp on this show that says it's 100% human-made content. I want to put a stamp on the articles that say 100% human-made content. And I think we're almost going to need to do that, right? If I have the respect of everyone who listens to this show, and there are quite a few people, I see the reviews, I see the people that reach out on LinkedIn. If they say, hey, Brad, I liked listening to the show, I liked your thoughts on this, the least I could do is let it be an authentic thought. And there's going to be takes that aren't good. And I've said that 1,000 times. If they're not good, that's fine, right? We shoot from the hip here on this show. We don't really practice. We're not, me and you didn't even see these questions until we talked coming into the show.
Right.
But that's what makes it authentic conversation. And that's why I think the show does so well. But the least I could do is make sure that it's me. And it scares me. I think there's a huge opportunity for AI. Yes, I am using it daily in a lot of areas of my work life, my personal life. There's a lot that I use AI for.
Oh, yeah.
But when it comes to clicking publish, I want that final opinion to be mine. And I think there's value in that.
Well, like the authentic nature of not always being, like you said, 100% right. Or you look at even a post that's perfectly proofread. There's something to be said about there being a grammar error or a way that someone maybe phrases something differently than a proper proper English would want it to be phrased. Sorry, 1 second. Somebody trying to call in. So that thought of being authentic and not always having to be perfect. I think is important in just the way that we're able to be seen as people and as humans. But I think we're all scared as an industry to let that happen now. I don't know.
I mean, that's the negative implications of social media is we're chasing perfection instead of progress. Right. And I've said, I even put out an article on it. We titled it one of the episodes of the show a while ago, Progress, Not Perfection. Right. If we can get 1% better every day, that's what we're chasing. I'm not here to be perfect. I'm not perfect. Right. But we only see people's outputs on social media. We only see the smiling pictures. We don't know what went into the months to get to that. Right. And it's so interesting to me. So yeah, I think we are in an information overload. I think we're in opinion overload. And even though we are in opinion overload, I truly believe that the industry needs to have more stronger opinions, whether they're right, whether they're wrong. Have a voice. Be who you are. Be uniquely you.
Yeah, a real opinion, just your opinion. That's all we're asking for. Don't try to do it to appease the LinkedIn gods and get your cringe points that week. Just do something that allows you to be able to be you. And eventually, if you're likable, then it'll pay off. If not, then hey, sorry, it's just you.
Anything else for us on today's show, Steve?
No, I think that's it. I think it's anytime we go to a new year, anytime we go into, that switch over, that reset is an opportunity to do things better. There's something, obviously it's not really any different, but there's just a mindset that can be enacted that wasn't enacted a week before. And so, I don't want to take away from the opportunity to exist to do that. So find what that is, set some goals, be able to do it, be consistent in it. And I think that 2025 turns out better than 2024. It's the way we should always think of it.
That's your show. And thank you for listening to another episode of InSights. If you found this episode valuable, we'd love to know. You can message Steve or Brad on LinkedIn. If you have a question for us, you can tweet us at Haley Marketing, or you can email info@haleymarketing.com. And of course, if you need a hand with your digital or recruitment marketing, we would love to help. Again, message info@haleymarketing.com and be sure you tell them that InSights sent you. For Steve Gipson, I'm Brad Bialy. We'll see you next time.